How fast you go, man?
About 180. Yeah. Yes, sir. Scary. Too damn fast. Yeah, it's definitely really fucking loud. Makes way too much amp power.
I couldn't do it.
Hey, not good for you. You can hear it. Alright, today is the day. So I'm going out for a ride to take a test today. And we're gonna try something new. So I decided to use my computer to voice over all of the talking. That way there's no wind. You can hear me over the bike. I mean, obviously that was the whole point, right? So here recently, I haven't really got a chance to ride. The weather's been kind of bad. There was a hurricane close by and we got the bans from it. This means there's been nothing but rain, wind. Obviously just not optimal time to ride. But I did make it to school yesterday, and that was cool. Matter of fact, there'll be a video up on that here soon. Tell you what, I think I like this new angle. I'm using a new head cam. Or I should say a new mount, really. Yep, looks like it's never green for me. Ah, it feels so good to ride this bike for sure though. I'm kind of hoping I can find a wide open road that's kind of like back roadish. I can kind of see how this bike acts, you know, the higher revs. Back where I used to live, it was super easy because it was farm road, like right from where I live. It's just not the case anymore. Alright. Coming up to the first turn here. Yeah, somebody was doing burnouts. I've seen that spot in this road, but I've never heard anybody. I live close enough to hear that. At least I would think so. You know, a lot of these guys don't pay attention to you and will just jump straight out. So you definitely have to constantly pay attention to everything around you. You know, you never know who's going to be where, what they're going to do. Oh. Pay attention to the guy on the left. Actually made a mistake and misspoke. I meant to say 160, but whatever. His reaction was hilarious. And I think y'all think the same. Oh, also notice how this person at the counter decided to completely ignore me when I was asking where the ATM was. Yeah, see, I'm like, I don't even know where it is. What's the ATM out here? Completely ignored me. Didn't even look. I was like, oh, okay. Just fucking walked off like, fuck me. Definitely typical people around me.
Do they have one?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even think they have one. Alright, watch this guy.
This is higher than hot temperature.
How fast you go, man?
About 180. Yeah.
Meant to say
Yes,
160.
sir. Scary.
It's kind of scary though.
Yeah, it's definitely really fucking loud. Makes way too much amp power.
I can do it.
Hey, it's not good for you. You can hear it. Yeah.
Yeah, he is losing his fucking mind over this bike. Even if I told him 160, he probably would have had the same answer. Yeah, I have a feeling though. With the full exhaust system, ECU tuning, you know, dropping a little bit of the weight, you probably could go 180 on this. There's definitely enough power in the engine for it. I think Kawasaki was estimating that it was 177, but you know, they can't even get the speedometer right, so who knows? The funny thing is, I think this bike has the same amount of horsepower as my car. Luckily I haven't had too many close calls here, but you should pay attention to the way that I drive. I'm very particular in the way I drive when I'm on the highway. I actually generally try to keep people not on the side of me, not directly behind me, not directly in front of me. And that's something I think is like super important. You'll really notice the deer. I mean, granted there was nobody around me, but like in traffic, I am super paying attention to everybody because they're just, some of these people are like on their phone, they don't even give a shit, they're not paying any attention, and it is only like a half second for them to merge into you and you're skidding across the fucking ground going 70. So if you notice, I'll be turning my head a lot. I would actually like to see myself in the lane all the way on the left. A little bit safer. And look how overcast it is. There's just clouds everywhere. It's kind of dark. As a matter of fact, when I went to take off, I think it was sprinkling a little bit. When I went to school, it was raining straight up. I was like, hopefully it stops before I get to the highway. It was a little wet on the highway when I was driving too. You have to like, you can't lean into turns, like, You have to be so slow to turn. You can't really drive super fast because you don't have much traction. And the wheels that you, or I should say the tires that come stock with this aren't exactly great in the rain. You can definitely feel like you're slipping a little bit. Yeah, I'm over here trying to check out the damn oil temperature. It's pretty rough. Oh, so I wore my scrubs going to school yesterday and like roasted my shins. Like, you can't have them drag on the ground, so you have to get them hemmed up. And I was wearing short socks, and I was wearing some all-white shoes, which are Vans. It's just like requirements for the uniform. But what happens is, when you're driving on a motorcycle like this, it's a super sport, really hot air is getting blown directly on your shins. When you're wearing pants, you don't really notice it as much, but I was cooking my shins. I mean, like roasting them. Like when I stopped, it actually hurt for like 10 minutes. Not bad, but it was like a sting. Like a first-degree burn or something. Felt like a little less than a sunburn. Otherwise, it was a pretty good time though. Every time I can get out on this bike, I love it. I was thinking about taking the 650 out tomorrow and just kind of dicking around a little bit and then coming home. It's a nice bike and I definitely want to ride it too. I just enjoy this one a little bit more. Or maybe a lot more. I don't know. There's definitely a big power difference. You can definitely feel it. The 650 definitely feels like it pulls you a little bit, but like this bike pulls the shit out of you. But it's not like a dangerous way, right? But one thing I really like about this, because of the seating position and because of the windshield, the way they designed it, the wind just kind of like blows over your head or blows into your helmet. And there's actually a hole, you can kind of see it there, that blows air to like your chest if you're kind of pushed back a little bit, and it actually keeps all the weight off your wrists and off your lower back basically, because the wind's pushing you to hold you up. It's a really good design. One thing I definitely wanted to say too, if you're gonna be riding and it's raining, try to follow behind the treads of the car in front of you, or a truck or whatever. Basically, there's more traction on that spot because there's less water. And try not to ride on those tire snakes, or tar snake. Try not to ride directly on those either because there's not much traction there. It's very slick. You gotta remember you have like what, like a quarter, about the size of a quarter of tread actually touching the road while you're riding. As you can see, it's not too busy. I want to say this was around like 9 or 10 a.m. Just typical Corpus Christi. And I'm just slowly cruising behind some people. think right up ahead to the left is where Cycle Plaza is. That's where I bought this bike. And the other one. It's a good people there. If y'all are in the Corpus area, they'll definitely hook you up. Oh man, this feels so good. When you get to actually lean into a turn. It's like my favorite thing. And that's what this bike does so well. Yeah, it's not like a bicycle where you're like actually turning your bars so much. I don't know, it's just like kind of an automatic thing that happens. You definitely got to counter steer a little bit. Here we are, getting stuck behind another truck with a long ass trailer. I could have moved over to the right probably. Anyways, you guys should let me know what you think. Do you think it's better to record this way or to record like while driving? Now, one of the problems while driving is my helmet like just lets all the wind on the planet in. Like there's literally like a hurricane going around my mouth like the entire time. So I have the ability to record while driving, but there's like kind of two problems with it. The microphone isn't unidirectional or bidirectional. It's more like, for whatever reason, it only records channel left. So I have to basically clone the left channel onto the right to make it stereo. It just doesn't sound good. Like, I have to do so much post-processing to get rid of as much wind as I can, but like try to keep my voice, and it just doesn't work. Like, everything I've tried just doesn't work with it. I just don't understand. I think what we're gonna do in some of these drives is just add random topics. You know, just things to talk about, things I want to rant about. Here recently, I haven't had anything too bad to rant about. Everything's been okay. I mean, the only real, like, annoyance was that one lady that totally just ignored me at the store. It's like, your only job is to help the customer. And she's over there, like, oblivious to the planet while she's counting money or whatever the hell she's doing. She's lucky somebody wasn't over there trying to rob her, because she would have got blindsided. Although, whoever was robbing her probably would be pissed off because she ain't paying attention to him either. Ugh. Yeah, somebody sent me an email and wanted to know what I was going to upgrade to, and I'm just like, dude, I got a long time to pay this bike off, for one. For two, like, I don't even know if there is really an upgrade. Like, what's the upgrade path after this? Do you go to a ZX10R? Do you go to, like, an H2, which is like a supercharged OP, whatever you want to call it, motorcycle? Kind of ridiculous. It's basically a fucking missile. You know what? I do have something to rant about. Now that I think about it. So we're going to completely do this freestyle. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to talk about it. So the word missile, when it comes to motorcycles, the first thing that comes to your mind is like just a super fast, out of control, like rocket of a motorcycle. But in actuality, like, missiles are actually like not uncontrollable, right? Like, most of them are guided in some way. I just find it odd that everybody keeps using missile like as if it's, you know, something that's uncontrollable and you just have no control over it. It just goes in its own way. Like as if you're gonna drive your bike into like a wall and explode the wall in yourself. I mean, I guess you could if you're going like 160. Let's see. Here we go. The dictionary says it's a noun, right? An object which is forcibly propelled at a target, either by hand or from a mechanical weapon. Here we go. In modern language, a missile is also known as a guided missile. It is a guided airborne ranged weapon. Well, first and foremost, like the only way you're getting air on a motorcycle is either, well, let's be on a street, is you flying off like a bridge, or you coming like up an embankment. That's basically it. So that's not even practical to begin with. Oh, and here's the other thing. Usually has a jet engine or rocket motor. Now I'm sure they could probably put a rocket motor on the end of a two-wheel thing and call it a motorcycle. But it wouldn't be a motorcycle anymore. It'd be like a rocket cycle, right? I don't know. I just think it's crazy that people use these like over-exaggerations for things that just don't make any sense. There probably isn't a better word to call it. I just don't think of myself as a missile when I'm driving around, even when I'm speeding. Because I'm definitely very much in control of my actions, right? I'm not just like letting Jesus hold the fucking wheel and just drive me to wherever he wants to drive me. Yeah, here's another thing. So, I'd say about 80% of the people that I pass or drive by that are riding motorcycles generally like either give me a nod or wave at me. The other ones will just like totally be oblivious to the planet, and what I'm assuming is either they're hyper focused or they're not focused at all, because maybe I'm just like hyper vigilant or something, but I definitely pay attention to my entire surroundings. I'm actually, this footage doesn't give it justice, right? Because it has smoothing on it. So whenever I turn my head or whatever, it smoothly moves the camera over. It doesn't just like whip it like how I'm actually looking. But I'm turning my head everywhere, looking for what's under me, what's around me, what's behind me, what's in front of me. Like, I'm looking everywhere. So it's kind of weird that, you know, maybe other people just don't treat it as seriously, or maybe they just don't realize how dangerous it actually can be. Like, yes, just like anything else, you can die while riding a motorcycle. It's a lot easier if you're not paying any attention. That's for damn sure. Well, here we are. Cycle Plaza's coming up on the right. There it is, and we're passing it. Actually looked at it real quick. Luckily, everybody here in Corpus is kind of like, they kind of pay attention to motorcycles. Not like super hard, but like, whenever I'm in the left lane, they stay away from my lane. Unless someone's like in a big fucking hurry and going like 99, 100 miles per hour, you know, just flying. They never get in my lane. They just stay in whatever lane they're in and let me do my thing. And I appreciate it. You know, if anybody for Corpus is watching and you're driving like that, thanks. because you're keeping it safe for me and for you. Anyways, guys, look forward for another video here shortly. I actually have a lot of footage that's already recorded. I just have to grind through it. It takes a little bit. You know, I have to actually encode the entire thing and then upload it and then do a lot of YouTube magic stuff, and it takes a little bit.